It was 2004. Well, it was the 2004 season. It was actually 2005. It was Super Bowl 39. The Eagles down by 10 points. Less than 5 minutes left. Moseying along down the field. Came to the point where after the game, Bill Belichick said, man, I kept looking at the scoreboard wondering what the hell these guys were doing. Do they even know what the score is? Donovan McNabb would lift his helmet to throw up what was left of his chunky soup. Eagles would score a meaningless touchdown with just a little over a minute left, bring the score within 3. The game was over. It was an embarrassment. That's right, Andy Reid. Bill Belichick embarrassed you in that Super Bowl. And it was the downward spiral. That was the beginning of the end for Andy Reid in Philadelphia. Yeah, he stayed for about 5 or 6 more years, but that was pretty much the beginning of the end. That 2004 Eagles was the best roster that Andy Reid had to date. I'm not finished. That Andy Reid had to date. 2 Hall of Famers, Terrell Owens, Brian Dawkins, John Runyon, Donovan McNabb. These are all-time Eagles. Jeremiah Trotter. They had the better roster that day. But that didn't matter against Bill Belichick and the Patriots. It never matters against Bill Belichick and the Patriots. But they didn't just win that Super Bowl. They embarrassed Andy Reid. They ripped his heart out. What did Andy Reid have to say at the end of that game? Well, we were relying on the onside kick. Really? In the Super Bowl? That's your strategy? That's where you got that stigma, Andy Reid, of being a guy that just couldn't get it done. That just couldn't get it done. In the Super Bowl, big lights, poor clock management, and your quarterback throws up. You know, when I looked at the playoffs this year and I looked at the seeding, I said, wow, do you realize that the AFC Championship game could be Patriots at Chiefs? And you guys didn't want to hear that. You said, no, it's going to be Chargers. No, it's going to be Ravens. No, the Colts are going to go all the way. I said, no, it's going to be Patriots at Chiefs. You cannot script this any better. Stop it with the NFL versus Rick stuff. You cannot script this any better. You cannot write this any better. This is perfect for you, Andy Reid, to get your redemption. Again, you have the better roster. I said that the 2004 Eagles were your best roster to date. Let's take a look into the future. Patrick Mahomes, Hall of Fame. I know it's just his first year. That kid's going to the Hall of Fame. Travis Kelce, maybe Tyreek Hill, maybe some players of that defense. You once again have a better roster than the Patriots. You are at home. You did it again, Andy Reid. You took a team nobody was thinking about. Nobody cared about. You took a team back to the AFC Championship game who hasn't been there since, 1993? Does that sound familiar? You did that in Philadelphia. Nobody was looking at the Eagles. They had some good seasons, but they were a bad team. They haven't gone to a championship game since 1980, the year they went to the Super Bowl. You took a young quarterback and you brought that team, you brought that city back to glory. You're doing it again, Andy Reid. And how perfect would it be to step over your arch nemesis, the man that laughed at you. They laughed at you after that Super Bowl. They stood in that locker room and they laughed. Goofy Andy Reid and his poor clock management and his quarterback who throws up in the Super Bowl. They laughed. Tom Brady laughed. Bill Belichick laughed. They hugged each other and they danced in a circle and they laughed at you. How perfect would it be to get your redemption on these guys who embarrassed you in Philadelphia? To step over Tom Brady, to step over Bill Belichick, to get to a Super Bowl. Andy Reid, you cannot mess this up. You cannot F this up. You can't, man. Patriots, they destroyed the Chargers. They were at home. That's how they look at home. Sony Michel, I don't know. Is that Sony Michel or is that Emmitt Smith? Oh, that must be Marshall Faulk. That's how they look at home. Tom Brady looks like he's 22 years old at home. Oh, on the road this year, not so much. Tom Brady looks like he's 41 years old like he should. And Sony Michel, he looks like Sony Michel. Somehow, some way, Bill Belichick finds a way. He's the mastermind. He owns the AFC. He's the motherfucking king. This would be perfect, Andy Reid, to get your redemption. I mean, we may look back and say, hey, that AFC Championship game where Andy Reid's Chiefs walked all over the Patriots, that was the beginning of the end. That was the game that sank the dynasty. You could be the one. Think about it. They started the dynasty on you. Andy Reid on those Eagles, right? That was their 3rd Super Bowl. That's a dynasty because you won 3, 2 in a row. They did that on your back. After that Eagles Super Bowl, what did they do? 2 losses against the Giants. The game the Seahawks basically handed them, literally, the most improbable comeback ever against the Falcons, and then they couldn't get it done against Doug Peterson's Eagles. So you can crush that. You can crush that dynasty talk this weekend. You got to do it, man. You're home. They play horrible on the road. I can't stop thinking about 2002. I can't stop thinking about 2002. The Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, what they say, these guys never won a game in 30-degree weather. The Eagles owned them the prior 2 seasons in the playoffs. Went to Veterans Stadium, the last game of Veterans Stadium, and embarrassed you, Andy Reid. Anybody could have beat the Raiders. Anybody could have beat the Raiders in that Super Bowl. That was your Super Bowl, Andy Reid. Anybody could have. The average player on that team was 45 years old. But Andy Reid, please, on behalf of the city of Philadelphia, now that the Eagles are out of it, we're rooting for you, Big Red. We want to see you win, man. We want to see you win. I'm going to be honest, I don't think you can do it. I don't think you can do it. I think Belichick's going to find a way. He's going to find a way. Scratch that. You're going to find a way. You're going to find a way to put this up. I just know it. If I was a betting man, I'd put money on it. Prove me wrong. Because I don't think you can do it. I think the Patriots are going to go into Kansas City and they're going to embarrass you again. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. That's all I got to say.